Hi, I'm Lisa Liu for Acoustic Guitar. In this video, I'm going to teach you about augmented arpeggios as part of the weekly workout lesson series. So what is an augmented arpeggio? An augmented triad arpeggio is the 1, 3, sharp 5 of a chord. So in the key of G, that would be G, B, and D sharp. And the interval that has separated the first and the third is a major third, and it's represented as 4 frets on the guitar, starting on G, 1, 2, 3, 4, landing on B. And then between the third and the sharp 5, it's another major third with 4 frets separating the notes, B, D sharp. So we're going to take a look at example 1 and a certain fingering of how we're going to play this. We're going to play a G augmented arpeggio starting on the 6th string, 3rd fret on the root note. And then we're going to start on the 3rd of the triad on B, 6th string, 7th fret. And then we're going to start on the sharp 5 on the D sharp on 6th string, 11th fret. Example 2 is a descending G augmented arpeggio, and we are going to start with the highest note in the hand position. The first bar is starting on the 1st string 7th fret on the B. The second bar we're going to start on the D sharp, the 1st string 11th fret. And the last bar, we're going to start on G, the 1st string, 15th fret. Next, in example 3, we are going to play a G augmented 7th arpeggio. And what is a G augmented 7th? We are adding the flat 7 in the chord. So the notes are going to be G, B, D sharp, and F. And the interval separating the sharp 5 and the flat 7 is a whole step represented by 2 frets on the guitar, E flat and then F. So in example 3, we're going to start at root position on the 6th string 3rd fret. Next, we are going to play starting the arpeggio on the 3rd on the 6th string, 7th fret on the B. Okay, so that takes us to week 2. In week 2, we are going to take a look at example 4, where we are going to play an example of a cascading arpeggio, something that Claude Debussy would use in one of his compositions. So we are going to do this using the G augmented arpeggio, starting on the 6th string 3rd fret. In example 5, we are going to play a descending cascading pattern using the G augmented arpeggio, and we're going to play them as triplets. In example 6, we are going to play a descending C augmented arpeggio pattern, starting on the 1st string 12th fret. In example 7, we are going to play another C augmented descending arpeggio pattern. In week 3, example 8, we are going to combine the augmented arpeggio along with notes within the whole tone scale. In example 8, this is something that Django Reinhardt would play. It's because he's using 2 notes per string. In example 9, we are going to outline all the augmented arpeggios in the F whole tone scale, starting on F on the 1st string, 1st fret. In example 10, we are going to play a descending A augmented arpeggio line along with notes within the A whole tone scale. Now in week 4, we are going to use the augmented arpeggios in the context of jazz 2-5-1 chord progressions. Example 11 is a 2-5-1 in the key of C. And for G7, we are going to use a descending G augmented arpeggio. For example 12, we are going to play a 2-5-1 chord progression in the key of F. And for the chord C7, we are going to play a C augmented ascending arpeggio pattern. In example 13, we are playing a 2-5-1 chord progression in the key of D. And for the 5 chord, we are going to substitute the tritone substitution. So instead of A7, we are going to play an E flat augmented arpeggio, and we're going to play it using an ascending pattern. Lastly, in the take it to the next level, we are going to play a sequence using the G augmented arpeggio pattern along with notes within the G whole tone scale. So that's my lesson on augmented arpeggios. Remember to practice things slowly and to think about the music. For acoustic guitar, I'm Lisa Liu. Thanks for watching.